Welcome to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group right here in Tampa Bay for 23 years. Joined by his incredible co-host, Ksenia And realtor with Mahara and Associates, Tampa's top real estate company. Together, they have helped finance and close nearly $1 billion of real estate every year. If you're looking for local mortgage or real estate advice, the Business Happy Hour team has been right here on News Radio WFLA for over a decade. Listen right here or find us on the Business Happy Hour YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram at Frank the Bank Cotto. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious mortgage, real estate, and business talk with two of Tampa's top experts. Here's Frank the Bank and Ksenia.
That's right, James. Thank you for bringing us into the show. Welcome to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. And man, we've got a show for you guys. Coming off my first show that I did all by myself because Ksenia just has to go out and travel the world and go to foreign countries like Ireland and drink Guinness and Harp and hang out with all the Irish people, which we're going to find out all about today because Frank the Bank has never been to Ireland. As a matter of fact, that's on my list, and I've got a little trip on that side of the pond coming up in December we'll talk about. Hopefully you guys liked the show last week. Yes, Ksenia left me all by myself, so I got to do my own solo show. And let me tell you guys, if you've ever thought about radio and if you're cut out to do this or if it's something you enjoy, it's not that hard. A lot of people talk about, I could never do this. Ksenia, I'm going to put her on this. James came in today. He goes, why don't you just stop talking in the third segment and just see what happens to Ksenia? I would never do that.
It's going to be radio silence, Frank. Come on now.
James, you're going to need a lot of those sound effects to play starting in the third segment because I'm going to be like, and this is Frank Cotto signing off. Ksenia has it. And that's what it's going to sound like. No, but guys, when I got into this industry or doing radio back about 13 years ago, I was kind of thrown into it. And Sen, I was not this vocal. I mean, I've always been a talker. Like as a kid, my mom used to literally, there's a funny video recording. They used to call me Frankie. I freaking hated it. Hated Frankie. It's why I didn't name my son Frank, by the way, because I didn't want to relive that for like 10 years. There's this video. And I'm like running around chasing her, holding that big old VHS camcorder thing, that had the big tapes in it. And I kept jumping in front of the camera every time she tried to video something. It was like around Christmas. And finally she goes, Frankie, sit down and shut up. Get out of the camera. and my mom, when we saw it a couple of months ago, she goes, that pretty much summed it up. She's like, that's what you did. Right. So I've always liked talking. But a lot of people say if you're going to do a radio show all by yourself or something where you don't have anybody to bounce off of, it's one of the hardest things in the world because you could forget what you're saying or you might not have something to say. It's like what I'm going to do to you in the third segment.
Well, no, you keep on track, and I have a hard time believing that. In high school, you were probably the guy, if there's a presentation needed, you're the guy they call up.
I did enjoy that. In high school, I was almost kind of still forced to do it. But what I was always the planner guy. So, you kind of have the clicks,
really?
Right?
Planner? I don't see you as a planner at all.
I know. Tell me about it, and people look at me and they think I'm disorganized, but some of the most disorganized people are actually some of the most organized in their brain. No, but I was the guy, like, if we did something on the weekends with our groups of friends or whatever, it was me. It's like I figured out where the party was. I told people where to meet. And a lot of that came out of necessity, Sen, because, I've got a 15-year-old right now. Those idiots don't plan squat. Okay, I was going to say the bad word, but they don't plan squat. Like he'll be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to Halloween Horror Nights on Saturday." Okay, who you going with? I don't know. What time you going? I don't know. How you getting there? I don't know. How you getting home? I don't know. And I'm just like, dude, like I don't mind helping. That's what parents do, but I can't do this not plan thing. When I was in junior high, or not junior, maybe high school, I had it all figured out. Like I knew where we're going, what time we're going. I knew if this party got busted, we're going to go to this party. Who's driving, who's doing this.
We had to plan. I mean, nowadays, with the phones,
Is that what it is?
Okay, I got, 20 friends I can text. So,
is that
quickest to respond? I mean, I definitely think it's got something to do with it.
And that Snapchat thing, right? Are you on Snapchat?
No.
Neither am I. Oh, see, I was going to have to make fun of you more. But no, this thing where they can like look and see where everybody is.
Yeah.
Right? Which, by the way, now, I'm just scratching the surface. Remember, I'm a 46-year-old old dude here. The Instagram, it now has something where it's got a map. Is that what it is, James? And I don't know. I think you have to opt into it. I think I opted out. I don't really want everybody to know where. Did you do that? You opted out of that? Like, I don't know if I want everybody to know where I am. right? But if nothing else, it's pretty cool. So then, like, especially as a teenager or a kid, like, hey, this is where everybody's hanging out. But for us, I just saw a funny little meme the other day about like the 90s. Did you go to the mall? Like, that's what we used to do.
Yeah.
Like, you went to the mall. And people would be like,
hang out.
Yeah, I'll meet you at the mall. And like, to do what? To see your friends. And to walk, you go to the food court.
Yeah.
And you just hang out. I don't know that they do that anymore. What do they do? I don't know.
mean, they've, they're on their phones.
That's
in
what
the
they're
same room,
doing.
but they're on their phones.
Right.
Playing the games or, social media together.
Yeah. Is that
I don't get it.
socializing? I don't know. I don't know. So we've got a great show for you guys. We got a little monologue I'm going to do for you guys here. Try to start that in the show a little bit in the first segment. And then Ksenia and I, we love planning, not planning, right? And there's a couple reasons. Because, if you plan, we do our show once a week. If we plan our show earlier in the week, I mean, by the time we get to our show, something else is going to happen, right? It's not going to be the same. So it's kind of nice walking in here. We're both in the same industry. We both work with the same people and same, we run in the same pools and stuff like that of clients and buyers, and Mahar and Associates and Lincoln Lending Group, work great together. So we can walk in here and we can have a story. So it's kind of funny. I ran in here and I was, not for nothing, I was kind of bitching up a little bit. I was saying, this isn't working. I had this situation that's going on. And what do I do, Sen? And then you start telling me stuff. And it's like, hey, you know what? That's today's show.
There you go.
Right? So then what we do, and James loves saying this, he's like, shut up and keep it for the show. He loves, like when we talk, especially in the breaks, this is a fun little radio thing. Every time you have commercial breaks, people start yapping, right? And that's the best stuff for the show. They start talking, and I love it when James comes on. He's like, shut up and say that on the show. I'm like, okay, dude, do a sound effect for me. Anyway, so let's just roll into this. We got a couple minutes left in this segment, and then Ksenia has the August numbers. Spoiler alert, she says there's some big news. I love it. What else? We're going to talk about the government shutdown. How does it affect you personally? What's it doing to you? And how does it affect you in real estate? We're going to talk about assets and lending. Ksenia and I are going to talk about the importance of listening to the pros, meaning Ksenia and myself and whoever you're working with in your real estate transaction, because not for nothing, we have licenses and we're kind of responsible for getting you guys at the closing table. So we're going to tell you what to do. You should listen to us. We're talking about short contracts, good or bad, right? I'm going to ask Ksenia what she thinks on that one. And then we're going to find out about Ireland, because I've never gone to Ireland and I want to go. And, I'm going to ask Ksenia a question about Scotland and Ireland, because, I'm not a geography whiz, but I'm pretty sure they're close.
They are.
Right? I think they're close.
We flew into Scotland and then from there to...
Oh, man. You're making me regret my vacation coming up already. All right. So, guys, October 7th, 2025, if you're listening to us on Saturday or Sunday morning, it's a few days later. It's Tuesday right now. We are on day 7 of the government shutdown. I'm hoping that by the time you listen to this on the weekend, the government is not shut down. But let's be real. What's the government shutdown doing to you? Let's forget about if you're in real estate. Are you affected? I'd like to hear it. If you're watching us on Instagram right now, I want to hear about it. If the government shutdown is affecting you and you want me to talk about it next week's show, I want you to text me. 813-765-1239. That's 813-765-1239. No dirty pics, please. Just text me what is happening to you in the government shutdown. I have one very good friend who's active military, works at MacDill. His pay is furloughed right now. Good news is he's still getting his pay. So we had a long talk about it the other day. And it really came down to budget. Sadly, a lot of Americans just do not budget themselves. I was raised with a mentality that you need 6 months of all of your living expenses in a savings account at all times. Why? Well, we live in Florida. We have these things called hurricanes that come and knock out our houses and our power and all this stuff. And God forbid you got to live somewhere for 6 months. How about you have a government shutdown and you have a government job? You might have to cover your salary for a few months. The good news is, in a shutdown, you're going to get your money unless you get laid off. This is a whole new realm with the government maybe being shrunk. Good or bad? Probably good in the long run. Bad for the people who are losing their jobs. I don't want them to lose their jobs. But a government shutdown doesn't affect people like you think it does. It's a lot of media hype. Don't believe everything you read and see online. Do your own research. Is it affecting military? Yes. Is it affecting certain core people in the government? Yes. Are they, if they still have a job after it's over, are they going to get their money? Yes. So it's kind of like it's just in a savings account for you, a non-interest bearing savings account. But you have to prepare. You've got to teach your kids. Sadly, colleges and schools don't teach our kids financial literacy. They don't teach them how to balance a checkbook. They don't teach them about interest, mortgages. They don't teach them about all the real stuff that you're going to have to deal with when you get into the real world. They send you there and they teach you long algebra and geometry and how to do, all this math you're probably never going to use, but they don't teach you basic finance. So teach your kids. That's my topic today. Teach your kids. Teach them to budget themselves. Teach them the value of $1. Make them spend their own money. I used to have a yellow parquet butter tub that I literally would save nickels and pennies and dimes and quarters I'd pick up off the freaking street. Fun story. Anybody know what Z Cavariccis are? Do you know what they are?
No.
Z Cavariccis. Look them up, guys. The most popular pants in the 90s. They're the MC Hammer pants. Oh. They had a little tag that said Z Cavaricci on them. I brought a butter tub into a Tampa Bay Mall store with $66 in change and $1 bills and bought my first pair of Z Cavariccis because my mom wouldn't buy them for me. And I was $3 short. And my mom almost didn't give me the $3. That would have been a scene. But anyway, that taught me a lesson. Taught me to save, taught me the value of your dollar. That was probably in 6th grade. You have to teach your kids. Don't believe everything you read, parents and kids. Kids learn from your parents. I taught my son about compound interest on the way to school the other day. Most people don't know about the 8th wonder of the world, compound interest. My son does, and I'm going to beat it into his head. And by the time he graduates or we stop driving him, he's going to know everything he needs to know about mortgages, interest, finance, money, and he's going to know about compound interest. What do you do? Teach your kid what you do. It's the best way to create generational wealth and to help your family. Stay tuned to the Business Happy Hour. When we get back, we're going to learn about the August real estate numbers with Ksenia And from Mahara and Associates. Let's go. How about the dramatic pauses, Berlander?
That was great. See, look at you. You could do the whole show in monologue every week. Yeah.
It's so much more fun having you on, though. You got to come and talk.
Well, sometimes it's like you're having a monologue anyway. Just stay quiet, let you do your thing.
You got Instagrammers, you get to see it. She's like, it's sometimes like you're just on a monologue anyway. It's like I'm just doing the show by myself. So, no, I love it. Oh, man.
No, actually, you know what? And I've been listening to more like radio shows.
Yeah.
And even ones that have co-hosts.
Uh-huh.
You do great.
I do?
You let people talk. Yes.
Okay. So sometimes.
But there's others where I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this guy literally won't shut up and talks over like his co-host. And no, you're very polite. And
thank you.
Yeah.
I literally spit my water out when you said that. I went down the wrong pipe. Yeah, no, I try to be, I try to be accommodating because, yeah, I know I talk a lot, and I don't know. Hopefully people find it interesting. I don't know.
No, I think they do.
Good.
You know when to pause and,
yeah.
It's good when you talk because you have good things to say. So.
Yeah. But guys, I'm going to give Ksenia, when Ksenia needs a break, I now know I can do a show on my own. So I'm going to give her that break every once in a while because I kind of like it.
I'm not giving Frank a break.
No, yes, no breaks. Yeah.
That's not happening.
Oh, wait a minute. That means we're not doing shit. No. Actually, I'll just record a show all by myself if we have to do a break. And then
there you go.
We'll play it. Excuse me. All right, rock and rolls,
okay.
James.
All the best mortgage or real estate advice from Tampa Bay's top experts. It's the Business Happy Hour with Frank the Bank Cotto and Ksenia And.
All right, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. I'm your host, Frank the Bank, owner of Lincoln Lending Group, 25 years here in Tampa, almost 25 years. I like to say that. Contact frankthebank.com. That's how you can reach me if you need anything. We got a new phone number, Sen.
Oh, you do?
844-4REVERSE.
844-4REVERSE.
Yeah.
I like it.
Right? It's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Right? And our guys here at iHeart helped me get that phone number through a connection. We're using that for the Ryan Gorman commercials, talking about reverse mortgages. We're using it on, we're going to start using it on TV. Oh. We're going to use it on the Instagram. We'll probably send courier pigeons with it tied to their leg. But 844-4REVERSE. If you do want information on reverse mortgages, that goes to myself and two of my staff members, Diane and Beverly. So one of us is going to pick up the phone and talk to you about reverse mortgages, answer all your questions. You can also go to reverseguru.com, reverseguru.com. I will leave you with this on reverse mortgages. You do not lose your home. Absolutely do not lose it. It is always your home. You cannot lose it. If you don't believe me, call me. Let me prove it to you. I did one for my own grandma, and I tell you something, she does not live with me. She lived in her house until the day she died, and the bank did not take her house, and she left us an inheritance, and she said she lived the last 10 years of her life, the best 10 years because she had financial freedom. So 844-4REVERSE or reverseguru.com. Ksenia, numbers from August.
Numbers from August.
We've
we
been
finally
waiting.
have them. I know, and I'm sorry. I think they came out right when I was gone on Tuesday.
Yeah, they did.
And that was not intentional. I was supposed to be here. I did get stuck in Ireland. Not the worst place to get stuck at.
No. Why don't you tell us about Ireland?
Sure.
And then we'll go into the numbers.
So this was actually a very impromptu trip.
Okay.
My husband was kind of joking. He's a big Vikings fan. And like, oh, the Vikings are playing, in Ireland.
I
And
now know. Okay.
yeah, he reached out to his buddies and nobody can go. I mean, really spur of the moment. I'm like, oh, well, I want to go to Ireland.
Is that how it goes in your house too?
It kind of goes like that. We were
Okay.
ha-haing about it, and all of a sudden we're okay, a week away. I mean, we literally booked our stuff like
Did
a
you
week
really
before
tell him
going.
like, hey, I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Yeah,
Was
I
it like
did.
that? And he's like, what?
Well, he had no choice really but to take me because, the buddies couldn't make it. So, yeah, it was a little couples trip to go watch the Vikings in Ireland, and it was so much fun. Oh, yeah.
This is our
Yes.
Gaelic music.
Yes, they played that like at the halftime show.
Did they really?
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
had a band there with a girl with her violin and
Yes.
thanks, James.
So yeah, that was awesome. So what? All right. So what'd you just go for like 2 nights, 3 nights? What'd you do?
No, well, it ended up getting stretched out. It was supposed
Okay.
to be, I think, 3 nights?
Okay.
But then mine turned into 4 nights. His was almost 6 nights.
Whoa. Okay, explain this. You guys went separate?
So the whole plan was, because we're like, all right, we're budget minded. We have companion passes.
Okay.
Which I'm kind of new to, but, big perk. We have someone in the family with Delta. And we're like, well, let's try to do an international flight. So we've, done it domestically before, usually pretty, simple. It's a standby sort of thing.
Right.
We did chicken out, and on the way there, we bought one ways at least to make sure we got there.
That was probably smart.
And they're like, coming back, whatever happens, we'll make it work. Oh, that was the worst idea.
Oh.
So, of course, yeah, the day after the game, I mean, the airport was packed. Never mind the flight we were supposed to get on there was some issue with the plane. It was like 4 or 5 hours delayed, but they were overbooked, oversold.
Oh, no.
So it just wasn't happening. Even if we wanted to pay for tickets at that point, wasn't happening.
Oh. So did you find this out at the airport?
Yes.
Ooh.
So we spent a good, 5-6 hours at the airport trying to figure it out. Got to the nearest hotel room. That was sold out. But I did find us a deal that maybe 25 minutes away from the airport, you go to the East Coast and you hit the water. And we ended up staying at this really cute little golf resort.
All right.
It's called, it was like Port Murnock is the area.
Okay.
But it was a Jameson Links course.
Ooh, that's really nice.
You know what? Made the whole trip worth it for Maurice because, Vikings. You saw the
Yes.
Vikings game. That was a bit disappointing. The game itself was fun.
Yeah.
But that whole trip made it worth it for him. So he got his dream golf day.
He got to play golf on an Ireland link course?
He did. So that's probably his best memory out of the whole trip.
Did
and
you
you know
ride
what?
with
If
him?
it wasn't, well, I already left.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
Explain
went
that.
ahead and left because we have, our little one at home and we had to get
So wait, you didn't get to stay in the nice little hotel on the golf
I
thing?
did for the night, but
Right.
I had to leave first thing in the morning. And you know what? It also worked out because I was still working. I was working at the Vikings game.
Uh-huh.
I was working on setting up that contract, so thank God I actually wasn't flying.
Right.
Because I don't know if I would have been able to work the deal out because we did have multiple offers. It was my buyer. Really good friend of mine. And you know what? This is the life of a real estate agent. She felt bad, but nope. Saturday, she called me and I'm like, oh, no, you're not going out with a random, Zillow person to show you this property. I didn't tell you, but you're going to have to sign an agreement, agreeing to commission this and this and this. So I got my other good friend that, was still here. Hey, can you show her this house?
Good. Mahar and
Showed her the
Associates?
house, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, showed her the house, stepped in, and my friend's like, I love it. And I want to move forward on it. Let's make the offer. And, I scrambled around and
So what happened? You flew back on a buddy pass in the morning?
None of it was buddy passes.
Oh, it's not
so
buddy
none of
pass.
that worked out. We probably ended up spending 3 times as much
Oh,
on plane
no.
tickets had we just planned it out to begin with. But that's okay. Listen, lesson learned, and we'll go back to Ireland now that we kind of know our way around. So we stayed in Dublin City Centre.
Okay.
It was busy.
Right.
Busy, close to walk to the stadium, which, the walking was nice.
Was it pretty nice? Is Dublin pretty nice? There's like a big city like
Where
in New York?
we stayed in Dublin City Centre, and I guess this is stuff you learn. Even like our Uber guys, well, there's the north side, there's the south side.
Uh-oh.
During the day, it was nice, but they didn't recommend walking around at night.
No night strolls and the side
No
you
nights.
were on.
I mean, I thought it was fine. I'm pretty oblivious. My husband's got better street sense. He's like,
He's like, yeah, we're going to get room service.
this part of town. But it was a lot of fun. The one thing I will say, if you ever do go to Europe and you've never driven on the left side of the road, sitting on the right side of the car, don't do it. We rented a car from the airport. It took us twice as long to get to our hotel. Oh. Just because you're so disoriented.
Right.
Yes.
No, it's okay. I didn't realize we are going to take a break here in a minute, but keep going with the story. I'll stop you when you get that.
Yeah. Do not rent a car.
Yeah.
We rented ours, got it to the hotel. After finally finding parking, we took it back the next day.
Oh.
It just was not happening. It was too scary, too hard to navigate, and there's plenty of public transport and Uber. So.
Okay. All right. So that's good. So when we get back, I want to ask you a little bit more about Ireland. When we get back, I'm going to tell you about this trip that I've planned for between Christmas and New Year's, kind of a crazy impromptu thing like that, to 3 different countries. Yeah. And literally last night, I'm watching videos online about all the snow and stuff. And I looked at my wife. I'm like, we're not renting a car. I was like, and I'll tell you that story when we get back. I'm glad you gave the advice. You're listening to the Business Happy Hour with Frank the Bank Cotto, 813mortgage.com, contact frankthebank.com, and Ksenia Akishina from O'Hara and Associates. We'll be back in just a minute to learn about the August real estate numbers. Cool. Fire us whenever you're ready. So yeah, I'll tell the story when we get back, but it's hilarious. And watching, like what you just said, we made the decision last night that we are not going to freaking rent a car. And it's not, I've driven in foreign countries. I've done.
You've done the whole sitting on the right side and driving on the left.
I've done the left.
Welcome to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group right here in Tampa Bay for 23 years. Joined by his incredible co-host, Ksenia Akishina, realtor with O'Hara and Associates, Tampa's top real estate company. Together, they have helped finance and close nearly $1 billion of real estate every year. If you're looking for local mortgage or real estate advice, the Business Happy Hour team has been right here on News Radio WFLA for over a decade. Listen right here or find us on the Business Happy Hour YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram at Frank the Bank Cotto. Now sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious mortgage, real estate, and business talk with 2 of Tampa's top experts. Here's Frank the Bank and Ksenia.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. We'll get to the real estate talk in here in just a second. Ksenia told the story about going to Ireland. Sounds awesome. By the way, if I go to Ireland, I can go to Scotland, right? Like they're connected,
yes.
Right? Kind of? Right? So, I mean, I can go drink the scotch in Scotland and then go over to Ireland. I mean, is it far?
I think so. I think we talked to a guy that was actually doing that.
Yeah, it seems like the way to go.
I think our connection was just through there, and then we took a little plane to get to Dublin.
Oh, you took like a puddle jumper to get to Dublin?
Well, it wasn't quite that small,
like
but
small
Aer
jet?
Lingus is the big, I guess, Irish airline.
How long was that flight from Scotland to Ireland?
45 minutes, maybe.
Oh, okay. It's like going to Miami.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. So I'm really funny that Cindy had brought that up about the not renting cars, because my wife and I, we're going to fly into London. The intention is visit her sister in Spain, and she's over near Barcelona. And my son really wanted to go skiing. So my wife shows me this country called Andorra. Never heard of it. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
It's this tiny country, only 70-something thousand people, pretty much all ski villages, a landlocked country in between Spain and France, right on the border, right? Pretty interesting. So we've never done London. We're going to do 2 nights in London, do like the red eye thing over there or whatever. And then we're going to fly to Barcelona, and then we have to drive to Andorra. And then we're going to drive back to Barcelona and stay with her sister for a couple nights. So we kind of do New Year's over in Andorra and all that. Should be pretty cool. But we started watching videos last night, and they're like, you're required to have chains on your tires and this between November and February, and you should bring boots that have spikes on them. And like, I'm like, what? And I'm like, I don't mind renting cars. I've driven on the other side of the road a bunch of times. So, I mean, I'm kind of get used to that in some Caribbean islands. But yeah, when they threw in snow and mountains.
And chains on tires.
And they're like, chains on tires. Like, Frankie, don't do chains on tires. Like, I've never done that. I wouldn't even know what to do with chains on. I'm a Florida boy. Like the only chains we have is when Grady Judd puts them on the side of the road picking up trash. Hopefully people get that one. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just gonna bite the bullet and pay for a ride from the airport and then just do Uber.
It's a safer bet.
I think so.
Just do that.
Right, man, just don't try to drive in these other countries. So Sen, how about the real estate numbers? What's up with August?
How about them? Well, I think I said before, I really didn't anticipate, August numbers to look all that different from July. And they don't. Our closed sales volume is still down a bit. So across the metro for Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Hernando, closed sales were down by 6.8%.
Okay.
Median sales price, average sale price, those are still just kind of teetering, not, going one way or the other in any meaningful manner. The one number, though, that I do think indicates that we'll have a higher volume next month, or I guess this month, or September.
Okay.
It always messes me up because we're in October, but it's only going to be end of October until we see September numbers.
Right.
So for September, because our new pending sales were up across all of our counties, I do think that closed volume will be higher for September.
So pending sales were up August to August.
Yes.
And that's why you're predicting closed is going to be
well,
up.
it's a good indicator because that means those are the properties that are under contract to be closed.
Okay. So that's interesting because a lot of us feel like the strength in the market is coming back. And it was kind of September that we all started feeling that.
Yeah, and that's why I think when we do the numbers, because they are a bit behind, like it's already kind of, old news. If you're in the industry, we're feeling things before, we're seeing it on the numbers that come out.
Right, because the numbers are at least 30 days behind, if not kind of 60 days by the time we get the end of the month numbers.
Yeah.
So I am a little excited. Business has not been, I would say business is not really up for us. But the way I would say it is, like for me personally, because I still originate, it's still pretty low. Like I'm personally on the lower side. But what I've seen is more of my originators' names are showing up on payroll, which tells me a broader picture. More people across the gamut are coming and buying right now and getting into the market, where maybe individual people aren't as busy. So I'm going to be very interested to see. I really want to see the October numbers. I know we're going to have to wait till friggin' December, but I would be very interested.
I think we'll actually have a pretty good, fourth quarter. Traditionally, fourth quarter is kind of when things, slow down as it is, but I do wonder if we're going to be, doing better because of the interest rate news. But the one number I did want to touch on, which normally we talk about month supply of inventory.
Yes.
So this is the absorption rate, which is closely related to that.
Okay.
It's just, basically a different way of measuring kind of the same thing.
Right.
Of, where our market is at. And for Hillsborough County, the absorption rate in August, year over year, 28%. Pinellas 25%, and Pasco 25%, which most people are gonna be like, all right, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So how we explain, with month supply, okay, 5 to 6%, 5 to 6 months supply is kind of the balance. For the absorption rate, 20% is kind of the balance.
Oh.
So 20% or higher actually indicates a seller's market, and anything 15% or lower would be a buyer's market. And we have not seen that. Our numbers are obviously significantly down. I went back and looked. So back in March of 2022, that absorption rate was at about 250%.
Holy
I think in
crap.
some counties even higher, but that's to put it in perspective, which yes, definitely.
Was that the peak?
So that was the peak, but just, to see it, that just goes to show record low inventory, so much demand, and that's why, we are where we are now. But things have, I think, we're still in the corrective phase, but I think that's kind of the corrections are, here. And if, we have that next Fed meeting coming up, at the end of October, if they continue to, cut rates, even if the action is not there, with the contracts, I am having, past clients reaching out, some people coming out of the woodwork, at least asking.
Yep.
So I do think that it's going to start getting busier. But to say that with the absorption rate numbers, if we do get busier, I really think this is a good time to buy, like great time. Possibly better than, if you wait another couple months. Just start now because there are deals to be had. Sellers are willing to negotiate. I've gotten buyers some really, really good deals. My sellers have been, they're understanding, of the market, and they know that they need to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the time.
I mean, this is like the first real indicator that we have. I mean, you and I have been saying it. This is the golden time because we can feel the buyer's market versus seller's market just because we feel the activity before it actually goes under contract. But this is it, Sen. This is the first real indicator that we could be flipping into a seller's market. Right?
Well, yes. But I mean, even technically, it's been a seller's market. Just
right.
The market's been a little bit, just kind of slow because of the buyer sitting on the fence.
Right.
Affordability, this and that. But if those numbers are already like that, once that buyer demand kicks up,
oh boy,
it's not going to be great for buyers. And I mean, even that contract that I was telling you about working out in Ireland, I mean, there were multiple offers on it.
Okay. And a guy I had lunch with yesterday said the same thing. Multiple offers. He's seeing it almost over 50% right now. Multiple offers. So
they're happening. I mean,
happening.
if a home is priced well, it shows well, it definitely happens.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy, guys. I mean, listen, the math doesn't lie. The universal language, the language of the universe that the aliens are going to use when they finally say hello to us, they're here, by the way, is going to be math. Math is the language of the universe. And you cannot deny this. If the absorption rate is up there, like you said, 25%, if that keeps going up, what's going to go up? Prices.
yes.
It has to. There is not enough inventory. I'm actually really excited about this. You kind of were coming in a little glum on some of these numbers because we're down a little bit, but Sen, absorption rate, that's awesome. We got to focus on that next month too.
Okay.
I'm really excited about this. So, where are we going to leave you? Buy now, right?
Buy now for sure.
And
call me at 813-755-REAL.
813-755-REAL. 755-REAL, because that's a real realtor who's going to find you a real house before the real rest of the company or country finds a house.
Yes, let's negotiate a real good deal right
Yes,
now. Right now,
yes.
though. Don't wait.
No, and seller concessions are still doing that, so you guys can definitely get into that. How much time we got? A couple minutes. So, we're going to talk about listening to the pros a little bit here. I think this is very important. We get on here every week and Ksenia gives you stats. And yes, we are salespeople. Yes, we want to do business with you. That's obviously our goal, but we're also here to help you. And a lot of times people don't listen, especially when it comes to when do I refi? Should I lock a loan? Should I do this? Sadly, they don't listen until a whole bunch of other people listened first. And then they come in late. And we're trying to get you guys to listen now. So when it comes to doing your loan transaction, we're going to talk about this a little bit in the fourth segment. We're going to talk about the importance of listening to the pros. When Ksenia tells you, you need to make an offer on this house for this reason, or this isn't going to work for this reason, or this is out of your budget, there's a reason she's saying that. Because remember, we want to sell you a house. We want to sell you a mortgage. So if we say to do something, it's very important. And I'm going to ask Ksenia when we get back from the break about contract dates. I would like to ask her, what's the difference in doing a 15-day contract or a 30-day contract? I'm going to let her answer what's better for you. And then she'll probably ask me, well, what does that mean for financing, Frank? How does that change the game? Because her and I are living through it right now on a couple different deals. So we're going to give you some real advice from real estate agents who you can call at 813-755-REAL if you want to get it off the air. And don't forget, you guys can text as well. Can they text that number? They can text that, right?
They can text that number, or they can go on my website, which is tamparealestate.pro.
There you go, tamparealestate.pro. We want you guys to check it out. If nothing else, get on a search right now because the market is shifting. We have the first real data from the math that doesn't lie from Ksenia that we might be starting a major shift. Don't wait. Excuse me. Don't be the last guy to do it. We'll be back in the Business Happy Hour with some real advice in just a minute. Thank you. Is this cough button actually work?
Oh, really?
I was wondering.
Oh.
Okay, here, let's do it right now. Let's see. Can you hear me now? Did it take me out when I did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good to know.
Good
Because
to know.
I've got, every time I travel, I feel like it's
Yeah.
always like sinus, something. And
Oh, I had something like 2 weeks ago, and I'm just, it's like lingers, you know? I'm
Yeah.
like, ugh. But it was funny because I noticed when Dana was on the show, she was turning the mics on and off. And I think she must be used to that from their other show. And I know
I
James.
never even knew what.
No, I figure James does that for us. Like it'll go off sometimes and on.
Yeah. I honestly thought it was the cough button if you want to,
Yeah.
a sound effect.
She thought it put a
that
cough
makes
in the
sense.
show. No, we're not doing that. So let's see. We got Ireland. We're going to do short closings. Listen to the pros. We can talk about assets. I didn't really touch much on the shutdown, so I'll just talk about that real briefly.
Well, I mean, I'm curious to even know for my deal. It is FHA.
Ask it. When we
okay.
get in, I'll say, hey, we're going to get into this stuff. Send you had a question. And then rock and roll. Yes. Oh, okay. I'll do that instead.
He's just say that'll be easier. Just do that.
I'll do it right now.
Let's get back to the Business Happy Hour radio show with your host, Frank the Bank Cotto, owner of Lincoln Lending Group, and his co-host, Ksenia And realtor with Mahara and Associates.
All right, friends, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. We've been having a great show. We talked about a lot of things today. If nothing else, Cindy and I want you to take our advice. The math does not lie, like we talked about in the last segment. This market is shifting. The absorption rate is up. I've never even looked at those stats before, but I learned something today. Every day you got to learn something in real estate, Sen. Now, you had a question for me before the break. What were we talking about?
Well, I did. So actually, and I want to give you and your team a shout out because if it wasn't for you guys, I don't know that I would have been able to get this house for my really good friend. You guys were on the ball. We got the pre-approval letter real quick. It moved really fast for her. I don't think she was anticipating to just, fall in love with the first house she saw, but she did.
Awesome.
But you guys are on a roll with it. And part of it was we do need that quick closing.
Okay.
So, we said, hey, it's okay. It's only a 15-day contract on an FHA loan. You said it's doable. I'm like, well, they said it. So I'm still hoping, but I think we went under contract right before the official, shutdown. What does this, is this going to affect our deal at all? Like, what effect does it have on the real estate market?
So what I said in the monologue, I kind of alluded to it, but I didn't get into detail. It says, don't believe everything you hear. Okay. A lot of this thing with the government shutdown is politics and posturing. The government shutdown is not just about the budget. It's about a whole bunch of other line items that they try to sneak through. Who knows, like transgender studies for wild rabbits. I'm just making things up, but that causes a lot of crap, and that's the reason these things don't get passed. To answer your question, how is it affecting the government on the real estate side? We have seen basically zero effect. Right now, could it affect if it keeps going? Possibly. What would it affect? FHA and VA loans, mainly case numbers. If they actually closed all of FHA and VA, they never have. I don't think that'll ever happen. They're always going to have a skeleton crew. Then maybe you can't get a case number, which means you can't order an appraisal, which means you can't go into underwriting. So could it postpone a contract? Sure, but you have a really cool thing in your contract called force majeure. It basically says things like natural disasters, government shutdowns, whatever, they're out of the control of the general public, allow for the contract and all terms to be extended. So it's not going to hurt your buyers, unless you're homeless if you don't close on the house. But I think most people will work with each other. IRS, I know that they have cut back some people on that. We probably need to fire the 80,000 that we hired because nobody needs them freaking auditing us anyway. But the IRS, I'm sure, is a little bit more in skeleton crew. So if we have to validate your tax returns through the underwriting process, there could be a delay there. But here's the good news. We have workarounds to all of it. If you need your taxes validated, there's ways to do it without waiting for the IRS. We've been doing that for probably 10 years. So it's a very long way to say business as usual, Sen. Nothing has really affected us yet. And I'm probably going to put a post out every day on the government shutdown. And if I see anything that changes, I'll let you know. But right now, so far, so good. I'm not taking it seriously, but I think a lot of it's hype. You watch the news and everybody's like, oh my God, the government shut down. Everything's going to end. So what I ask everybody every morning on social media is, how's it affected you? Has it done anything to you and your family?
Well, no, not yet.
Right.
So, I mean, if you could get this deal to go through for me and my friend to close on her house, which the appraisal's been ordered. So that means that the case number issued, all that. So we should be in the clear.
And the appraisal is probably the longest part of the transaction that you don't really have control over because it gets scheduled and they have to go out there and write the report. So if you're doing short contracts, that's the most important thing. Get the appraisal and the inspections done right off the bat. Everything else is just underwriting and turn time. So let me ask you as a real estate agent, what's up with short contracts? What's the benefit of instead because there's normal contracts 30 days? Why do you sometimes recommend a shorter contract?
I mean, I don't know that I do, but we were in a multiple offer situation. That's what the seller wanted. They were ready to be, done with that house, paying that mortgage, probably 2 months ago.
Right.
So that was part of our strategy. Like, hey, if you want it, can we possibly do the shorter close to, beat out the other contract? And my friend was like, yep, I can do it. Can Frank do it? Frank said, hey, you know what? Yep, we can do it. And I think that was part of the reason why we did get it. But no, I mean, for us, I don't know, there's no benefit other than actually having to really hustle up on everything. So I do recommend on a short contract during your inspection period, do all of your due diligence.
All of it.
Go ahead, call the insurance, get that, figured out. You need to talk to the HOA about something. Do all of the due diligence, not just the general inspection.
Right.
And then obviously order the appraisal. Like in this case, we didn't wait. She didn't wait for that to be through because we knew we were on a tight timeline. She wanted the home. You got to fork over the money.
Right.
When you order it. So no, we just ordered everything.
I think
and
that's
she's
great
doing
advice.
everything that she needs to do. She's the best kind of client for a short contract, which I don't know about yours, because this one, she's very responsible, great at communicating. You ask her for something, she'll have it to you within, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So the way I'm hearing this, kind of talk the layman's terms, is short contract can help your real estate agent negotiate and beat out other people if you're on a multiple offer situation, because if you both offer the same price for the home, which is kind of happens, they could both offer listing price, then what sets them apart? Maybe it's the banker on the other line. Yeah, we'll pick up the phone. Cindy will tell me, hey, we make it an offer. Pick up the phone and call the listing agent. That makes a difference. 100%. Picking up the phone, me as the president saying, hey, I'm working with Ksenia, my company, I own it for 25 years here in Tampa. We're handling the mortgage. We got a great reputation. That helps. But when you also tell them, hey, we're going to close you 15 days sooner, I think that tells the other side that's a very solid buyer, right? And then like you said, we're only as good as our buyers, right? So the advice I think we'll both share on this is you have to listen to the professionals. If Ksenia says you have to pay for the appraisal day one and the home inspection day one, you can't wait for the home inspection to come back before you pay for the appraisal because you're on a short contract, then you have to listen, right? Yeah. Is there any other advice you'd give people?
And listening meaning listening and doing it.
Oh.
So you don't just hear it, you really got to follow through.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of times, and listen, I'm going to say this as gently as I can. Those of you who are high net worth individuals and have always, had the money to buy whatever you need, and I love this phrase, I could buy this house cash. I'm speaking to you. You still need to listen because guess what? You're asking somebody to borrow $500,000 or more. He who has the gold makes the rules, not you. You're not writing the loan. The bank is, or the broker is. So that's the guy with the gold. You got to listen. If we say, give us this doc on this day, give us that doc on that day. And then you know what we're going to do? We're going to get you to the closing table. Sen, any other advice for anybody before we cut off?
Well, I think they should call the Lincoln Lending Group to get it done.
Thank you.
And listen to them. And do what they say when they say it.
Yes. And here's the thing. I will make a promise to you. If you listen to Ksenia and I when we are navigating your real estate transaction, we will guarantee you are going to close on your closing date. End of story.
Love it.
And we're not going to charge you any extra money. We're not going to have to extend anything. That's our promise to you. Sen, it's been a great show.
Yes, so fun. I missed you.
Yeah, you were missed too. Have fun in Ireland. So we'll see you guys next week on the Business Happy Hour. We've got a great guest. We'll save it for next week, and you'll find out who it is. Talk to you later. Mostly because I forgot.